Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan.
Our lawyer Mo is here.
Hey.
How you doing, Mo?
I'm great. How are you guys?
That's the new thing we do now. Whenever we introduce somebody, I lean in, I yell, "Hey," and I give them one of those.
Great morning zoo here.
That's what we're going with.
I like
now.
it.
You told me to go with applause. I'm not going to do I went through and started listening to different types of applause. Then I heard that other shows were using applause. How are we going to set ourselves apart? Siren. I'm going with a siren. I'm going with the morning show siren.
Loud, ear-piercing siren.
One of these. So it's like, accidentally gave him two sirens. Sorry.
Before we get into business, Mo.
Yeah, let's get down to business.
I want to talk about chicken parm.
Oh, boy.
Bus Decker's giving us the next
No,
time.
no,
Don't talk about it. Don't talk about it.
So
it is my favorite new in the Mo universe, in the Moverse.
Yeah.
My favorite thing you've done so far is the chicken parm review. I'm a fan of chicken parm.
It's a delicious, delicious food.
It is a delicious. It's an I think it's an underappreciated food.
I would agree. I mean,
nobody talks about chicken parm anymore because everything is baked better than fried. No,
no.
A lightly dredged piece, flat pounded cutlet that has been shallow fried.
And some uneducated people might say it's a juvenile food of just chicken tendies and marinara and cheese, but they're wrong. They're wrong.
Oh, did somebody tell you that?
Well,
did somebody say
I'm
that?
very bitter.
You did accurately describe the food with chicken tendy.
It can be quickly made at Burger King with just the random ingredients they have.
It's kind of a chicken tendy pizza, which is the only thing my sons eat.
They have.
I think KFC has now.
Did you know? And I know you don't eat junk food because you're Mr. Boring Mr.
I
Trainer.
love junk food,
but I know your sons do because they're like my daughter, and all little kids eat junk food.
Yeah.
And KFC does have a Chizza. It's chicken. The bottom is a cutlet that's been pounded flat and fried, and then they put marinara and cheese and pepperoni on top. And the commercial is some old lady opens a door and looks at it, and she's like, "Yeah, eating your pizza?" And he's like, "It's Chizza." And then that's it. It's like, "Yeah, we got to get some Chizza." Have you tried Chizza?
I have not tried Chizza. Maybe we'll add it to the list.
You have to eat that in your car in the Walmart parking lot, hiding from everybody you know.
It does look like a food you would hide to eat.
Yeah,
absolutely. The kid is hiding in his room eating it when his mom opens the door.
That's how it's intended to be.
Yeah, it looks very naughty.
So,
it does look naughty.
Anyway, we never even mentioned the reason we bring up
Please.
chicken
Yes.
parm
Please.
is because Mo's been going around town grading people's chicken parm. And when'd you come up with this, Mo?
I don't know. One of our stupid meetings we had.
No, we were talking about how you are the king of content. You are Orlando's king of content.
Yeah,
we were
trying.
like, well, I loved it.
Yeah.
I'm like, so how many chicken parms have you tasted?
I think we've done 4 so far. I think we have another one today, so there'll be 5. So we try to do one a week, basically.
Okay.
And you look really fit. So are you like spitting it into a bucket or like?
No, and on most days that I do because we try to do it after their lunch rush. So usually I've eaten lunch because I'll have like a lunch meeting or something. So that's my second lunch. So I'm really indulging. And I don't think there's a chicken parm I haven't finished yet. I usually start. I'm like, I'll just have a little bite. I'm not too hungry, and then it just keeps flowing.
That's impressive. I mean, I'm that same way with chicken. I'm the same way with like any chicken tenders. Like if they're out, like if somebody brings nuggets, like a Chick-fil-A nugget platter. I'll eat all the nuggets. You just keep eating.
You start nibbling a little bit.
Like they're little, like steak bites. You do a lot of sausage bites. I go to Tom's house. He'll grill up like 12 sausages, and then he cuts them into little pieces. He puts a little mustard. It's the only thing you do that's sort of fancy. And he puts little toothpicks, and we go ham on them.
You know what it is? Because you eat one, and you're like, oh, little small, delicious
bite
size,
Yeah.
and like that's not
Meat
that bad.
bites.
And then you do what I do with like, White Claw, or I'm like, just one more. And then next thing you know, I've eaten
Do
1
what you do
pound
with
of
alcohol.
I've eaten 1 pound of miniature bites.
Yeah, we're a meat bite guys here. We like meat bites.
So let's get down to business, Mo. I've got a personal question, but this probably happens a lot because we've talked about it before, but I didn't understand.
Do you need to borrow money again?
So
I told him the next time.
Really
I told you the
bad.
next time he has to borrow money, he has to do it live on the air.
So I've been training for this triathlon, and it involves lots of riding my bike. And so I've been coming here to the studio. I have to do it today.
Yeah, this morning he was pontificating about how his life is boring now. He has nothing to talk about because his life is nothing more than a series of the same meals, not seeing his family, and then running in circles and riding in circles.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Yeah, should do some chicken parm videos.
God, it's boring. And not funny at all. all.
Yeah, he says it's the least funny thing he's ever done.
There's nothing funny about my life anymore. And it is ultra boring, but it's exactly the way Arnold would want me to live my life. But you know what? Arnold didn't tell me that this would be boring. Like, it's so boring. Anyway, so I've been riding my bike, and what I've noticed, and I've heard this before from cyclists.
You getting a rash?
No. Daniel's told me. So I'm riding on the Katy Way Trail, and so I'll be riding my bike fast as I can. Right?
He's not bad either. He's not bad. I rode with him. I've ridden with you once.
And then I'll see, like, and there's lots of homeless people and vagabonds, and then random old people.
Yeah, there's a series. It's sort of it looks like almost like a Trail of Tears through Orlando. And you see
it's a homeless highway.
And you see like travelers and gypsies.
But then there's like random like old people doing their afternoon walks.
Snake oil salesmen and old like cowboys riding the trails.
So no, it's just crowded with people. And then but I'm I'm on the bike. But sometimes it turns to bike and then it's walking. But so it's kind of wide. But people will be walking shoulder to shoulder, and they'll be taking up like most of the path. So as I'm
that's just a lack of consideration,
lack of courtesy.
But really I'll hit stretches where there's nobody, and then I think they think there's nobody, but I'll be
there's
never
nobody.
Them.
Here's a news flash to everybody out there walking and biking on the Katy Way Trail. There's always somebody. Stay in a single file line. No, you're not better than anybody else. You don't get to ride side by side. And if I come up beside you and I have my headphones in and I shoot between you and you yell at me, I will get off my bike and black out. I got off my bike and I had a blackout screen. I had a fit. I was going to beat him to death with my bike, Mo.
So the problem, Mo, is that I know, like, I don't know any of the etiquette, but I figured it out.
You just typically go on your left.
Yeah, so you say on your left. Yeah. So now the problem is, though, there's not any signs, or like no one knows the protocol. So when you scream ahead and you're going fast, and I'm saying,
well, you're not going that fast.
When you're walking and then you hear from behind you on your left, the people freak out and they don't know, so they go.
Well, they don't
left.
know their left or right. No, they don't. They're just like my daughter. My daughter doesn't know her left or right. She probably never will.
So they get confused for a second, and then like by the time I scream that they could hear me, like I'm already on them.
So you want to scream something else?
No. And then so they get confused and they start going left, and then they're like, every time they're like, it's like, don't you do this a lot? Or if you walk this path, like
I'm gonna start walking today.
So anyway, I thought to myself, like, one of these times, I'm going to ram into an old lady.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Because
you're going to knock her visor off.
I'm going to say, on your left. And she's like, oh, what?
What if she hits her temple on a root and dies?
And then she's like,
oh,
my
left. God.
Like,
Tom's charged with manslaughter.
What would you do if you hit her? She hits her temple on one of these world-famous Castleberry roots. She hits her temple and dies. Do you put her on your shoulder and keep biking? And call me?
No.
I'm stuffing this old lady in a dumpster somewhere?
I didn't murder her. Like,
you didn't murder her. It was an accident.
We got a body to bury.
So I'm not going to hide.
It wasn't a murder.
I'm going to start hiding my accident. Casey Anthony. I'm sorry, Mo.
That's alleged. She was found not guilty.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you, Mo.
Buzzsacker left.
He's cry laughing right now. What type of person he is. Let me put him on camera.
So my question is, Mo, I said on your left. The old lady just hears left. She goes left, and I just ram her full speed. And then I heard her.
Yeah. And you booty digged her right in the crack.
So what happens there? Like, can she like sue me for hurting her? Like, what? She's on the Katy Way Trail, which is government land. I don't even know. How does that work, Mo?
So I mean, normally you have a duty to avoid people who are in front of you. Now, so you're not supposed to just ram right into the back of them. Obviously, if you're trying to avoid them and they jump in front of you, that could change that. But that's somewhat what happened with who was it? That Gwyneth Paltrow trial? Remember the ski trial?
The ski trial.
Yeah, it was kind of the same thing.
You ran into somebody skiing. I mentioned it. I said he was Castleberry Paltrow. And you glossed right over it.
I just knocked him over and they fell down. Gwyneth Paltrow
knocked a man over and he fell down.
Yeah, but they were like, she rocketed into him. Like,
I mean, that's not according to her. According to her, it was just a normal.
She was found not liable, I believe.
So, and that was because it's like a, hey, accidents happen type of deal? They'd have to prove your negligence?
There was how it happened. I can't remember exactly. I think she alleged that he ran into the back of her and got hit. He was alleging that she ran into the back of him, I think is what happened, but it's been a little while. So it was really just a fact pattern of how did the accident happen. I don't think it was on video, so it was really, in that case at least, it was her story versus his story, and the jury found her more credible for, whatever reason it may be.
Because she's famous.
Right. I mean, that's
what
I was implying there, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it kind of felt like.
So I have a second biking question for you, and
he's also biking with a broken thumb that he refuses. Am I allowed to talk about that? Is this going to change our relationship?
No. I don't know if it's broken or not.
You do know it's broken. It doesn't work.
Yeah,
it's stiff as a board.
It's healing.
It's literally
stiff.
straight. It's straighter than it's ever been. His thumb. And that Tom, my business partner Tom, I don't know if you know this, Mo. But he has the longest thumbs of any person I've ever met. The only person that even rivals him is my daughter, which that's a tale for a different day.
Okay.
But you have
your daughter's got long thumbs, loves to work hard.
Yeah, I know. That's what I've been saying for months.
It's a milkman scenario. I'm Dr. Milk. Sorry.
But yeah, he's been biking with a broken thumb.
So,
Dr. Milk was just too far.
I do like the name Dr. Milk.
There's
a mediocre time with Dr. Milk and Dan.
There's areas of the Katy Way Trail that are right before you get on it. It's in Baldwin, and
it's root crazy.
There's roots that have grown through the sidewalk and caused little miniature ramps, like bulges in the sidewalk.
Mother Nature still undefeated. It is tearing up all the asphalt.
And then Daniel, when you showed me the path, it was hammering my taint.
No, I told you to go around it like a real cyclist would. You don't ride over. You don't in a skinny wheel bike.
Right.
You don't rock it over the bumps. That's how you pop a tire, man.
So it hammers, it hurts you, and then there's some places you can't avoid it, so you have to just pick the smallest route ramp that you can, and then it's like it hammers you. So the other day I'm coming back into Baldwin, and my podcast stopped. My business books I've been reading.
Okay.
By the way, all the business books I read, it just tells.
So you want to start a podcast?
There's no information
brought to you by Audible
about getting rich in a fast amount of time, which is the only information I want.
Yeah.
It's
all grind.
It's all like collect assets. It's about finding compounding. It's a whole interest and long term and responsible. Get rich as fast as possible. I need to find that book because I'm listening to hours of people droning on about how the proper way to do things.
I got blew snot out of your nose.
Sorry.
Yeah, he got so worked up he blew snot out of his nose. Right hand, folks. Right hand.
So I'm trying.
So when you go to leave, shake with the left.
I'm trying to change my podcast, and I got to pull my phone out of my stupid bike shorts.
So you think you're going to end up wrecking into?
So then I'm looking at and then all of a sudden I hit one of these roots. And then it almost ejects me off the bike.
Yeah.
And then,
is this what Tracy was talking about in the chat room? Were you on the phone or were trying to text her or something?
Oh, yeah. Tracy called me about something. I was
huffing and puffing, and you almost wrecked. She said you almost wrecked in the chat room.
And so it was because of one of these routes, right? So I looked back. I was like, man, I almost fell on my bike, and that could have hurt me bad.
Well, you're very stiff, and your hands hurt. Your thumb's already broken.
So then I looked back, and the tree was growing basically in a business, and I saw the roots were growing from the business tree into the sidewalk.
That's the traveler's building. It's traveler's fault.
And then I looked back, and I looked at that building, and I was like, wait, hold on. And I started putting my Mo hat on. I'm like, I think it's this business's responsibility to make sure its roots don't destroy the sidewalk, creating a hazard for me.
And you put on your Mo hat. I'm sure he loved hearing that.
And so is there anything with that, Mo?
I mean, if the business maintains the sidewalk, yes. I mean, that's why you'll see cities or counties or HOAs come in and shave down the sidewalk sometimes because the roots will go under them and make them uneven and things like that. And it can be a tripping hazard. So it depends who's maintaining it. But yeah, if the tree grows in there and the roots disrupt the sidewalk and it's a tripping hazard, then yeah, they could be liable for it potentially.
And if someone's on their bike and gets ejected off because they're trying to change their business book,
I mean, these are not good facts, but
I won't mention that part to the jury. I'll just be like, I was focused and I hit the roots.
Do we want to ask Mo anything about, like, because we're thinking about opening up our doors to potentially getting in some young people. And
easy, Puff Daddy.
I was earlier. I was sitting on the couch and Tom moved my hand from his butt, like Mike Tyson. Have you seen that video?
No.
You haven't seen the video? Should we do that?
Okay.
Can I play that? Mo's here.
Okay, play. Yeah.
Mo, hold on. I got this.
So, of course, like anytime, if you're a celebrity and then you have thousands of hours of footage of you out and about, and then there's a controversy, the internet detectives will go.
They find all of it.
We'll find every.
And it's all digital.
Yeah. Who, like, by the way,
I don't know who found this.
If someone just sitting there, it's probably news agencies. They pay interns to watch footage.
Well, this had been said in an interview a while ago. So to set this up, I guess Tyson had done an interview a while ago and had mentioned that he thought, or there's a scene where Puff Daddy is like sitting on, like, I think he's with, is it Reverend Ron or somebody from Run DMC? I forget who's interviewing him. But it's Puff Daddy and Mike Tyson, and Puffy's sitting there, but his hand is like, it'd be like if I went to sit on the couch with you, Mo, and then I just put my hand like behind your butt. And then you'll see what Tyson gets his hand and physically grabs it like it's a dead mouse.
And
moves it. Here, watch this.
It truly is about the Benjamin, as we see.
So he moves his hand, and then he scoots over like.
Like you're not going to touch me.
Now look at how dejected Diddy looks at the end. He looks like.
We'll be right back with more right after this.
Diddy kind of looks like, oh, you just moved my hand. Like, that's what it looks like to me. Like, it looks like,
I'm used to doing this, and people being pressured into taking it.
Right.
Mike Tyson will kill me.
Mike Tyson just moved my hand and scooched over. I'm going to freeze like a T-Rex is looking. It looks like he freezes. It looks like when Mike Tyson moves his hand, he realizes what he did. You know, it's like insulting Ramsey Bolton, to put it in, and then you realize what you've done, right? And you freeze, and that's what it looks like. He's frozen.
So in local, I guess, Florida news, I saw this morning on some article that recreational marijuana is going to be put on the ballot.
Yeah, we should get to vote for that.
But with some of these things, like I know this had been on the ballot in the past, and there has to be more than the usual majority vote. It's got to be like,
I think it's 60%.
60%, yeah. Which is something someone put in a long time ago, probably thinking that when this happens, they will slow it down, right? And that's all part of it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's politics, But it'll be interesting to see if it passes or how close it gets.
Yeah.
Anyone 21 years of age and older would be able to possess up to 3 ounces of marijuana with not more than 5 grams in a concentrated form with certain restrictions. And then pot could be sold through all marijuana distributors or dispensaries, rather, without a medical recommendation. You would no longer need that.
Mo, you know what's crazy about the law? And I'll tell you what's crazy.
Okay, I like this.
I know the law.
Put that Mo hat back on.
Is that it's really
looks good on you, buddy.
It's really dependent on the temperature of our society and whether or not law enforcement wants to enforce certain laws.
Sure.
And it's like with the marijuana thing, it seems like in the past 5 years that law enforcement seems to not be enforcing marijuana laws.
It's different in other
as
states,
harshly.
Though. It is. You see them on live PD. I know you say that, but I watch them.
Texas. I mean,
you look at other places. Like it's weird here, but like you look at other places and you'll see guys it's called On Patrol now because they move networks. But you'll see guys that'll just run them up. I mean, it'll be like a Saturday night. The guy's got a joint. And the guy's going to jail.
Yeah. Which is insane.
You still see it. You still see it.
It's insane how quickly that mentality is passed for me, because it seems like, if someone has marijuana and maybe doesn't have a medical marijuana license, I'm like, no one is getting arrested for that, right?
It is odd.
You can get arrested, but
it's odd to see on the show because of this, right? You'll see one scene where you'll have a police officer, cuff them and put them in the back of the car, and then you'll see others where the guy will be like, look, I'm not going to do anything for a little bit of weed. Just throw it on the ground and get at it. Like, it's on the same program, on the same night. That's how weird it is. If I were anybody that had been like, like incarcerated or gotten in trouble for it, I'd be angry. You know, like you see this, it's like there is literally no rhyme or reason, and you still say it's federally illegal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it just depends how much that department or that person cares. I mean, I was watching one yesterday actually where they responded to a bar. There was someone who was belligerently drunk in a bar at like 11 a.m. and the police officer took him and drove him home. I was like, that would never happen here. You know, you're going straight to jail.
Yeah.
Or like the old school ones where you get pulled over for a DUI and they just lock your keys in the car and be like, yeah, you just get a ride home. You're good for the night.
Yeah. I was mentioning to my wife the other day, I was like, man, my sons will never probably have the delight of being let go by a police officer, like, get out of here.
Well, it'll be a robot. Well, you're going to talk to a robot, right? The Robocop will blow your head off. We've seen that.
Just because everybody, there's cameras everywhere, and it's like, you're being watched, and all the police have cameras, there's cameras in the cars, like the police, like, I cannot just
they
let
get
you
they
go.
get in trouble if they give people a break now.
Yeah.
Right. Especially with the body cam footage, too. It's like, what are you doing? I guess you're on the hook for that.
You let someone go, and then they end up hurting someone, you'll be fired, so you can't take the chance. Like back in the day, it was, in the 90s, so many times I was a teenager, and some cops like, get out of here. And there's no proof of them ever letting you go.
Even with like skateboarding, they never ask for your name. You see even on the TV shows now, you see them like, get over here, what's your name? You got your ID on you? Like, they never did that. Like, get the hell out of here. Go home.
Just go home.
And I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
Like that's what we did.
Anyway.
Okay, serious question for both of you.
Okay.
You're walking down the street, dark alleyway.
Yep.
You look, and you see what appears to be a police robot being beat up by a bunch of homeless people.
Okay, all right.
This is a serious question. Do you assist the police robot? Do you mind your business? Or do you join in the melee and get a few licks on him? Police robot. It's a police robot. It's a Robocop. This is way in the future. This is like 2070.
Yeah. I'm more of a mind your business type of guy.
I figure that would be the way it would go.
And
you put your head down, and the homeless people are just knocking. They knock off his helmet.
I'll do the math. I'm like, they probably get.
They spray paint him. That's the number one move that homeless people do with police robots. You spray paint them. Then you put a dress on them, or you write something like
ridicule them.
You put pink all over him.
I like when the robot has eyebrows. Like Wall-E or Short Circuit. The eyebrows is how you can tell their emotion.
Yeah, but the homeless people are using a bat to beat his eyebrows off. And one's hanging off, the other one's shooting sparks at him. Do you assist? Or do you just mind your business and keep walking to the Soylent Green line?
The police department has lots of these. They account for every once in a while losing one is fine.
Right. To a homeless mom. Yeah. What do you say?
I mean, I mind my business because from a legal standpoint, typically you don't have the right to use deadly force or extreme force to defend property. So if I beat up the homeless people too much to defend the property, then I could be charged or possibly held liable for the injury.
Oh, that's why
a real Mo hat.
Yeah, that's why you need to call Mo. Injured on the go, just call Mo.
Oh my God, there's an extra loud Mo. I apologize for that.
JustCallMo.com is a website. Mo, thanks so much.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate you being here, buddy.
And we will be right back.
Oh, somebody really threw a wrench in my plan. They're like, does the robot cop have a human brain? And I'm like, oh, shit. You fucked me up on that one because then I'd have to help him.
Yeah.
He's still human at that point.
Robocop.
Yeah, he's still human at that point.
Yeah, and you leave just his disgusting face.
We used to call Jimmy that. We used to say, you look exactly like Robocop. It's the meanest thing you could say to somebody.
Robocop lost his helmet.
All right. Well, thanks for being here, y'all.
Thanks for having us.
Let me get this guy saved. Where's that good tea?
That is Tuesday tonight 1.
Tuesday tonight 1. Thank you.
April 20th. Anything we need to know for that?
No. Just we can you'll have the table set up and giving out stuff. We got a DJ from 6 to 8. We got the.
What time does the event start?
Basically, it opens for us as a private event at 5.
Okay.
But we're telling everybody, show up between 5 and 6. So you can show up between that time.
Well, if I gotta set up stuff though, I should probably.
Oh man, who's going through chemo?
That's when they officially.
That sucks.
Becomes
I'm sorry. I hope you feel better.
And then we got the luau show starting at 8.
What is that exactly?
going to be fire spinners and some drums and dancers.
It truly is about the Benjamin. We see. Oh yeah, he's literally.
Like presentations,
Okay.
like traditional Hawaiian performers.
Okay.
Should John wear a coconut bra?
Yeah.
They wear coconut bra.
You wear a coconut bra.
Oh,
Yeah.
John. Actually, it's funny. In the contract, they had the coconut bra or completely covered because they do conventions.
Yeah, we've talked about this on the show a couple of times. Yeah, I think people think though that I make things up. I don't make like most of the stuff is not
What did you guys choose?
made up. What do you think we chose?
know.
I wrote. They said other. I wrote in fully nude,
No, come on.
and then I wrote Mons Venus and underlined it. Put their website. No, we want it to be nice and classy.
All right.
It's going to be awesome. And the other thing we talked about, since we're still on Twitch and YouTube, I'm really into that. That'll be fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, cool.
All right. We'll
Get in
you
here,
I'll
Joey.
get you that merch stuff next week. It's supposed to arrive on Monday.
Okay.
No
You
worries.
guys are still doing bags on
Yeah.
How you doing, buddy?
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to see you, my friend. Good
We're
to see you.
supposed to have them in.
Oh,
by
living the
then.
dream, you know. There he is. Hello,
Good
good
to see you.
thanks.
Did they ever follow
You guys
back
are taking
up
real
with
good
you?
care of me. I appreciate it.
Oh, good.
Yeah, you guys, they call
they
me
ever-
all the time. They check up. What's that?
Oh, did they follow back up with you on singing the national
Yeah,
anthem? or
she
no?
asked me. She was like, "Yeah, we're gonna put together a day. We want you to come in and sing the national anthem." I'm like, "I'm down."
Did it work out or not?
I haven't
Obviously
done a
not.
date yet.
Okay.
No, none of a
They
date
only
yet.
got 4 games left, so maybe next year if they don't do it this
I'm
year.
thinking big. I'm thinking playoffs.
Well, they still got to make the playoffs.
We're gonna make the playoffs.
All right.
All right. Been a
All right.
Steelers fan my whole life. There's
All right.
always a chance.
All right. Well, if they don't, I would just follow back up and be like,
do.
hey, like if not this year, maybe next year.
Dude, you're the coolest
All
man.
right.
Thank you. Honestly.
All right.
Share your
Well,
bourbon
good luck.
with me at the poker tournaments. You always party. You're cool as hell, man.
I should probably retire on the poker tournament.
No.
Go for the dynasty.
I'm saying,
you
get
gotta
your
keep
hat trick.
going, man.
Get the
Yeah,
hat trick, bro.
Yeah, I'd push hard for the 3 in a row.
Alright. Well, yeah, let us know if you guys need anything from us.
Yeah.
You got it, man. Thanks as always.
Of course.
Yeah,
Plus
well-
showed you the magnets we have made.
They're
Yes,
amazing.
yeah,
They're hilarious.
Yeah.
I think people will love those.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they definitely will.
Sweet. Alright. Well, Joy, if you guys need anything.
Cheers, man.
I was thinking, I wonder if he still remembers the sneeze.
See y'all.
Sorry, Mo.
What'd you do? Put a snot in his hand?
No, I shook his hand with
with
my
the snot
booger
hand, with your booger
Where's
hand.
this stand?
That's me.
Spelled satellite wrong.
Oh my God! They just came in, bullied you, and walked out. That's pretty awesome. That was a good ending.
This is my business.
This is a good ending. That was a really good
None of
ending.
your business.
Oh, Tracy saw
I did
that.
it on purpose.
Tracy saw that. And the whole chat room collectively hanging their head down. Oh my God.
It just has to be close enough.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah,
Andrea's mom was a letter
Yeah,
carrier.
yeah,
She told me
yeah,
that.
yeah.
She's like, there's a lot of dumb people that get mail sent. She told me that.
Yeah, the world's full of them. That's what I
Vicky,
hear.
Andrea's mom, Vicky, would see, the dumbest things written, and it gets there. It's up to the letter
Yeah.
carrier. You got to get a good letter carrier like Vicky. She'll
Yeah,
look
yeah.
at it. She'll be like,
Oh, this is what he
"Is that a
meant.
what?" I'm like, I know what he means. I know what he means. She'll take care of you, buddy.
Oh, dude, it's every time the wife has an Etsy account where she makes things and mails them out, and every day it's the same thing. It's like, all right, we got to take 10 sets of ears and 10 boxes out to the mailbox. I'm like, okay, grab me the boxes. I'll write. No. I'll write the addresses down. Every time you write the addresses down, we go to the post office, and the guy's like, I have no idea where this is going. I'm like, what do you mean? Because you must be a doctor because your handwriting is literally illegible. I can't read a dang thing you're doing.
EJ says you're gross.
Me? Oh.
No, you, Tom.
what I do, Ej.
Tom. EJ's still fighting with Tom over the booger hand.
No, okay.
Yeah,
well,
this guy's gonna try. He's
no.
coming after you. Okay.
2 second.
We're doing Disney today.
Yeah, do we get 2 seconds from memory lane? I was digging through some
We do.
stuff.
Yeah.
Check this out. Tell me if you remember this.
Oh God.
Oh my God!
Ransom note.
I hope it's a racist joke.
Well, there's a couple on there.
Yeah, I hope it's a.
There's one about Bubba that made me laugh.
Oh, is this a Tom?
Oh,
That was
man.
about 14 years ago when I was the
You
first.
kept it?
I did.
Oh, look at this paper. It's all.
Your handwriting is your handwriting the same as the handwriting that you fucked up on the thing?
yeah. look
That
at
is
it.
literally about 14 years ago, dude.
Oh my God! It's exactly the same.
You're consistent, bro.
Dude, it hasn't even changed at all. Not in. If anything, it's gotten worse. Like, it's like
Yeah, it has gotten worse.
Isn't that great, dude?
that's pretty crazy.
It's got a good laugh. I was just looking through some old stuff and I was like, oh, I'm bringing this in today. I thought that was so great.
What is it? What are you-
Tiffany boobs and the poker clip.
Do you want to talk about this?
A bunch of rich guys have had the hands all over them. Oh.
1 minute of comedy.
Oh.
You want to talk about this?
What does Tiffany's boobs and a poker chip have in common? I remember.
And then and then you just start floating like it's Stranger Things, and you're pulled up to the thing.
Oh, I love it.
It gets you, and you're like, oh, and he starts lifting you out of your seat, and you become possessed with Joey the Bear again.
Oh, I love it. Just give you a good laugh. I thought I'd bring it and share that with you.
Pretty good. All right, you want to start?
Oh, that was pretty good.
You got the goods, man. You got
All
the
right,
goods.
let's do it. Here, bring us back. 3, 2.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time. Joey Mozand is here.
Awesome.
You got it. I gave you the.
How you doing, Joey?
Real good, man. It's great to see you guys.
Good to see you too, man. How you doing?
Real good. The Solar Bear game was a blast, by the way. Thanks again. That was a total blast. Me and some friends came out. Every time the camera pans over, I see you and your family, and your boys are jumping up. They're getting all excited. It's so funny.
They love a Solar Bears game.
It's fun.
They love the Jumbotron and getting on there. Well, Max does.
I mean,
Tommy is like me. We just sit there stoned
he's
like a
just,
stone man.
hi, Jumbotron.
Yeah,
Thank
thumbs
you.
up.
Having a good time. Check again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maisie and Max, they like to dance around on there and get seen. And yeah, I'm glad you had a good time, man.
Thank you.
So, Joey, you pulled out a piece of paper from your pocket and you handed it to me before we started the show. And what's funny is they made paper better back in how long ago was this?
14 years ago.
Yeah, like feel the quality is thick.
That's a thick boy. That's a nice weight.
Yeah. They make computer paper now.
Well,
thin.
I mean, I think they still make this paper, but you forced me to buy the.
Dude, this got to be
I'm buying
cheap.
the budget paper.
This was the Clear Channel. They're buying budget paper.
They were buying the most budget.
Yeah. I mean, they're getting the cheapest paper possible, and it's still good quality. So, what is this from?
This would have been. This is from just before the Tom's Phoning It In episodes. This is when you did the 1 minute of comedy with Drunky the Bear, and you had to come up with 5 jokes on the spot, and then they would randomly pick one word, and it was literally a week before the Phillips File poker tournament. And Detective Barb was in the studio, and she's like, "I'm going to pick poker chip as the word." And we're like,
Whatever
"Okay."
happened to Detective Barb?
She's
still
fine.
detecting?
Yeah.
Detecting?
I
Is
see,
that what you say?
I see her on Facebook.
We got to get her in here.
Yeah. She's living the life. I think she's
love
playing
Detective.
golf.
Oh, she's golfing it
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Her
she's got-
son's big and big
She may
as
be
hell
retired.
now. Good for her.
Anyway, my handwriting has gotten somehow worse.
Tinier, which is usually a sign of dementia.
Is it?
Yeah. Like when you get the tiny,
Right.
I'm like, don't get mad at me. Some people that hits close to home because we have listeners that like deal with it. But yeah, I think you have the tiny dementia handwriting of a psychopath, someone dealing with something.
And I'm reading some of these jokes. They're pretty good.
Yeah, what'd you think? Give me one. Give me just give me one in context. Explain it.
Yeah, so I got, what do Tiffany's boobs and a poker chip have in common? Rich guys' hands have been all over them. Anyway, I'm not reading it.
The bubble one's my favorite. The bubble one's my favorite.
She's a mother now with 2 children.
I don't like to read the Bubbles one.
Bubbles. We never had Bubbles on the show. That was Michael Jackson's monkey. Read it. He would love that. I think Bubba would love it, unless it's really disrespectful.
It's not.
What's the difference between Bubba's 401k and a poker trip? One can be turned in for real money. It's a fire joke.
That's horrible. He's dead now. Why'd you do that?
It's Joey's fault. I didn't even read it.
Why would you do that? That's a dead man.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What the hell's wrong with you?
So, Joey, what's
sir.
going on with the parks? We're going into springtime. I imagine I see speaking of popularity, the parks. Have you seen all the social media about the lines and like how packed the parks were in spring break?
I did. Yeah. I saw all of that, and then I saw yesterday they released. They were going through and like kind of picking through some renderings for the new How to Train Your Dragon area.
Epic Universe. It's going to be so good.
At Epic Universe. And then I noticed the big story on this, which I thought was stupid. So stupid. The big story. They're like, we've gone through the renderings, and here's what it's going to look like. And look, everybody, they hid Saturday Night Live alum Kenan Thompson inside the artwork. And sure enough, they had drawn a little Kenan Thompson down in there. And I'm like, why are you telling me that? This has nothing to do with anything. I don't even care. I don't even care why you drew. I don't need
Why is that a thing?
I don't know. It was all over the news, the Kenan Thompson thing, all over the news.
They must really love him, because even when they did the grand opening of the Velocicoaster, you know, normally when Universal does a grand opening of a big attraction or a whole area, it's like for the grand opening of Harry Potter, everybody from the movie's there. And for the grand opening of Jimmy Fallon and the Roots are there. And the grand opening of the Velocicoaster, it's like, oh, is Chris Pratt going to be there? Is there? Kenan Thompson showed up.
Well, he was doing an
why
ad
Kenan
campaign.
Thompson?
He was doing an ad campaign at the time. I think I can explain this one. And I forget what it was called. It was like... It was a Universal ad campaign, and he was the spokesperson. So that's why you were seeing him being used a lot. In fact, here's a fun fact. In the renderings, when they draw him in the blue plaid shirt that he's in all of the commercials.
Okay.
So I don't know why they would put that in there, and I don't know why that would be breaking news. I thought that the news of itself just being, it looks amazing, the rides look killer, the boats for How to Train Your Dragon look it just looks all like top tier amazing stuff.
So, Joey, I want to ask you, because of all the social media with the crowds during spring break, I started thinking, because you see those like images and the videos, and you're like, oh my God, and you're thinking, you're like, but I get tricked by social media a lot, so I have to like, all right, what's the truth here? Is this just in particular crowded area of the park that it like got overwhelmed at a certain time of day, and the rest of the park is not like this? Because you see that and you're like, oh, the whole park is like that, like nut to butt humanity.
Yeah.
As far as I can see,
you
like
have to
people
have
are
patience.
People are just shuffling along. Is the only way to even get down the street. Like they're not even in lines of rides.
No, well, you're
They're
in a
just
line.
on
All day you're in a line.
Yeah. And so do you think that is accurate, or do you think it's skewed because they're showing just an area of the park that is overly congested?
You got to remember that the parks only hold about 65, 70,000 people. So this happens all the time when I take the families there, and they're like, why do we have to get there at 7 in the morning? And I'm like, we're going to wait 45 minutes now so that we don't wait at all for the rest of the day. If you're the first family in the park, you set the tone for the day.
Okay.
So we're in the park and we're running, and everybody goes straight, and I go, come this way. They go, why are we going to the right? And I said, because everybody else is going straight. Next thing you know, it's like a NASCAR pace car. Like all of a sudden we're out front. We're in front of everybody. We're the first ones on Harry Potter. We get off and they go, it's not as busy as we thought it was going to be. And I'm like, say that again in 15 minutes. And we walk around Diagon Alley where she goes, oh my gosh, where'd all these people come from? I'm like, they were behind us. Now they're not. Let's go.
So getting there early, and there is a limit of how many people they'll let in, right?
It closed to capacity one day.
During spring break?
Which day was that? I'm trying
It was last Saturday, I want to say.
Yeah, but they will stop it, because we'll get to a point where I've never been on a day when it's at capacity.
You don't want to, dude.
insane.
I was there at Christmas one year. I was at the Magic Kingdom at Christmas. 10:15 a.m. They had a sign out front that was about 6 feet tall, and it said, to our valued guests, the following parks are closed to capacity today. And it had all 4 of the Disney parks on it.
Wow.
And it was like, you literally imagine you bought your ticket and you're like, we'll sleep in. We'll show up at noon. You show up at noon and it's Wally World. You're like, what do you mean we can't get in?
How do they handle coming and going? They don't do it like a dressing room, do they? Where they have somebody with a clicker seeing who's coming and going?
Now it's digital, but yes, they used to do it with a clicker, but now it's just a digital. It's on your Magic
So they
Band.
will let you in, or do they do like timing? Like, we'll give it 30 minutes until there's some pressure off, then we'll let some people in. Like,
Yeah.
That's how they do it?
But like you'll have the people out front waiting and standby.
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, all right, how many people left? All right, we can let about 100 people in. What do you got in your party? 5? And they count them in. And when they get to like 80, they're like, hold up. We need another 100 people to leave.
Joe,
That's
you're
nuts.
you're a math guy.
Yes, sir.
So how much better is your experience if you show up insanely early and actually put the work in to beat the crowds, as opposed to just sleeping in and
Taking it easy
and showing up?
Seat of your pants.
Because to me, I'm thinking it's like GD nearly 40% swing.
Ooh.
Where it's like,
I might go higher, dude.
like you're miserable showing up at noon and it being that packed and not being able to, because you won't even be able to do anything.
Yeah, I
So
might
what
go
do you-
higher because I'll put it to you this way. What price would you put on being able to do everything you wanted and getting out early?
God, you're reading my mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's honest. Like, if you're gonna spend that money, you can get.
What's optimum time for you? Like, if you could get the best of the best and get the people up and ready to go, how would you hit it?
Well, tomorrow, I'm actually going to be, if any of the BDMs or anybody's out hanging out, come say hi to me. I'll be at Universal Studios Orlando tomorrow all day with a family. And what I can tell you is for exact numbers, so let's say you buy an express pass. You're going to drop the $180 to buy an express pass. Ticket's about $130. You're going to show up early. If you're spending 124% more, plus you're getting there early, I'm going to tell you it's probably about 178.5% better.
So it makes the difference between
3 to 1.
having a good time and a bad time.
It's like going to the beach, though, right?
Wasting
it's like,
your entire...
You ever go to the beach? Like something as simple as just going to Cocoa Beach, right? You're
Yeah.
just going to need a chair, a towel, some sunglasses. We get in the car. If we leave at 8 and get to the beach at like 9:30 with all of our stuff, it's an amazing day. If we get there at 11... searching for parking for 40 minutes. Then by the time we get to the beach, it's noon. It's hot. There's no place to sit.
Yeah.
You know, like it's not as good. It's like if you can get there and run that time and weasel your way onto the like the fun part.
Yeah.
You know, I think that you actually end up getting more out of the actual visit.
Oh, 100%. But that involves planning and extra work ahead of time.
Getting up early.
And
Sucks.
I like not even realizing I'm going to the beach until you wake up this
You wanna
morning.
go to the beach?
Yeah. And then
Yeah, that's what I do.
by the time you
Andrea
find
hates
your
that.
bathing suit and all the sand
Bathing
toys,
suit. I'll wear jean shorts.
You're there at 2:30 in the afternoon. And
Miserable.
Then,
Well, you can do that too. You just have to
get
be
there late,
okay
yeah.
with getting home at like 8:30.
Yeah.
So, anything else going on with the parks you want to let us know about, Joey?
Epic Universe is going to be insane.
Okay.
Now that they're releasing that, Super Nintendo Land is going to be absolutely amazing. Universal Classic Movie Monster. I mean, it's looking good, but what's so funny is it's always a competition. Disney and Universal, Coke and Pepsi, Burger King and McDonald's. There's always competition.
Yeah.
And usually what would happen is, Disney's opening up Animal Kingdom, so Universal's opening up Islands of Adventure. Disney's opening up a Star Wars land. Universal's opening a water park. Universal's opening a theme park that is bigger than the other 3 things they have combined, and Disney's opening up a water ride. And then Universal says, hey, we got a new roller coaster going in. And Disney says, check out our water ride. And Universal says, oh my gosh, you're going to love the Donkey Kong coaster. And Disney goes, but you're going to love this water ride. It's like, yo, Disney, change the record, brah. Like, seriously, you're plugging the same thing every day. It's like, we need something new from you because you're killing us.
Could this be the shift? Or is there already, like, what's the most popular park still? Is it still Magic Kingdom?
Well, it depends. Magic Kingdom is if you have the little ones.
Yeah.
Hollywood Studios if you have the big ones. Universal if you're a regular. Universal is so good to their annual pass holders.
Yeah.
But where Disney's doing it now is they've completely dropped even promoting the America side of it. And now every post is all about Hong Kong. Every post is about their new cruise ship. They're kind of shifting away from the entire Orlando market, and now they're like, hey, you should see all the other cool things we're doing because we're kind of accepting that we're kind of screwed here in Orlando because
we're out of space, right?
Yeah, exactly. Same thing happened. What happened at Universal, where they basically bought a chunk of land in between 4 major highways and filled it? That's why they had to buy the land over by Lockheed to open Epic Universe. Disney's doing the same thing in California. When Walt Disney opened up Disneyland back in like 54, 55, all these big businesses came in, and McDonald's bought a little bit of land, and hotels bought land, and he got landlocked. So now if in California they want to open up a 3rd theme park like they're talking about, they got to move 8 miles down the road, and they got to buy a chunk of land and put a new Disney there. And if you've been to Disneyland, the only thing keeping the sidewalk, like outside, blocking the homeless people from getting in, is a chain link fence with a green piece of paper around it. It's kind of funny.
So
yeah, homeless people are hilarious.
Joey,
Yes.
with everybody's complained about the price increases and things are so expensive. Is this never going to stop? I mean, there has to be a limit, I feel.
You mean on like top tier pricing?
Like, do you ever see there are any sort of discounts in the future? Do you see that maybe
God, there hasn't been discounts in years, dude.
They incentivize people in the future coming there because people are going to start dispersing to other areas? Like, is it just going to be continuing to rocket until something else happens?
It's a great question, but the truth is, if you think about it, what do you think? Disney,
Of course,
Disney has no desire to discount because people are still paying it. Every time Disney says, they did the interview with the former CEO, and every time they're like, hey, are you gonna stop raising ticket prices? And they're like, are you gonna stop paying for them? And they said no. He said, no, we're not gonna stop raising them.
Yeah.
I mean, it really. I mean, like, I know people where no matter what the price of the Disney ticket, Not so much Universal. I don't see as much of that, and I think they will have that, and they absolutely do have that. I just don't see it, that amount of loyalty. But my Disney guys that I know, like, will budget in no matter what the cost. You raise it $300, they'll budget in the $300. They're going.
Yep.
What's crazy to me is, like, going back to the spring break crowds, like, it feels like when they're showing the video of that many people there.
Not enjoyable to you, right?
Well,
yeah, I know.
all those people, I feel, would leave with a bad taste in their mouth of going to these parks, especially the dads, you know, and like even the kids, like, who wants to be in a sea of humanity like that in a hot day, never-ending lines, barely can go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it seems like those people wouldn't go back or wouldn't be inclined to go back as fast. And therefore, if you keep producing those experiences, then people will stop coming. But I guess there's a never-ending amount of people that want to go.
Yeah, with a never-ending, I mean, like, is this right? With the never-ending amount of people that aren't Floridians.
Or just going once in their family vacation.
You're missing out on that. The people that treat Disney like it might as well be a religion. They go every Sunday. They sing the songs. Think about this. Isaac Mizrachi, famous poker player. They asked him, they said, what's the greatest feeling in the world? He said, winning at poker. They said, what's the second greatest feeling in the world? He said, losing at poker. There are people that go to Disney and they say, I went to Disney. It's like, did you ride anything? No, the lines were too long. What, did you eat anything? No, the lines were too long. What did you do? I walked around Disney. Best day of my life. They're obsessed.
It's the even a bad fishing day. It's
better than a day at work.
Those guys. Even a bad day fishing is better than a good day working.
Exactly.
Hell yeah.
So even
Risk
though,
it for brisket.
you know, they're standing in
Same guy.
lines and it's crazy packed, they're still like, oh, I'm still having better, you know,
Yeah, it's not
I'll
work.
get them next time.
Yeah, I'm still in a magical place.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're waiting in line for Winnie the Pooh, and it's like, oh my gosh, we're almost at the spot in the line where I can rub the screen and the honey moves, and it's like, I'm almost at the spot in the line where I can make the bees. I'm like, those are kids' toys. Yeah, but they're amazing. No,
Yeah,
they're
they're just
not.
into it, man.
No, they're not.
Yeah, you're not going to understand it. Not for you.
Yeah. So where do you, like, when's the new park opening again? Like, when are they projecting it?
It's one of the first times I've ever seen a theme park make an announcement about an opening, and I think they're actually going to hit their mark. They said it was supposed to open in 2025, and that was even with COVID and everything, and it's looking amazing. If you see the overhead videos, like, Nintendo Land looks like it's done already.
Yeah, it does, and it's looked like that for a minute. Like, it does appear like they might hit their date.
And have they announced all the rides yet? Or
They're doing they've announced it, but they're doing like these slow rollouts of details. So they'll take like one group, like they just did the How to Train Your Dragon area.
Yeah.
And so you're getting these highly detailed walkthroughs of that. I have yet to go through that yet. I kind of missed I don't know if I aged out. I had aged out of that, and then I didn't have a kid when I think the first How to Train Your Dragon came out. Have you watched any of those? I've not seen one.
They're brilliant, dude. They're absolutely
I've
brilliant.
heard they're amazing. Like Christine in the chat room, who I absolutely trust with my life, said, "Oh, it's great," and I'm like, I haven't seen even one of those. Not even one of those movies.
And you know what I would suggest people do, and it's hard because we don't even do this.
Quit
as
smoking.
The Van family.
Yeah, quit
No.
smoking.
Is that like when we were taking Tommy and Max to, let's say, like amusement park or somewhere.
Take them to the Volusia County Fair.
And so we would find YouTube videos of the roller coasters or the rides to show them what they are like, to try to coerce them into riding them.
Oh, no, I like to put Maisie on their side of the scene and you blow her eyeballs out.
You know, because they were like, oh, what is this ride? And we're like, hey, look at you watch a YouTube video of a first-person view of riding, you see the whole thing. And then it's kind of like, I'm watching them watching, they're like, oh, you know every single ride, you know what to expect. You do a virtual tour, like someone's
It does
watching.
help.
Hey, well, the problem is,
Then why go?
well, what's the surprise? Like,
Well, you got to spend the money.
You know everything that's coming, though. Like, there's no surprise anymore. You don't know what don't you want to get on a ride and not know what it's going to be?
Well,
Don't
that's
you
why I
remember
stopped
that?
watching trailers.
Yeah,
I don't watch
yeah,
trailers anymore.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people should, because even with this new park, there's going to be virtual.
Oh, it's all been spoiled.
Rides, like every single thing. You know,
All the
you'll
Easter
see
eggs are
exactly.
already out there. Like,
Yeah.
there are like blogs now that are like, hey, in this rendering, I saw this, this, and this, and that means this. And I'm like,
It goes back to the psychology of planning your vacation is like happier for people than actually being on it.
Yep.
So people like to imagine themselves on all, like, going to the place, researching all the things, you know, and like that's
yeah, but that's not real.
more interesting or
Yeah.
more pleasurable to your brain than it is actually going to.
That's
which
how
is
Andrea
bizarre.
is. Like, Andrea planning the trip to Epcot for me and Maisie it releases more chemicals, I think, to her and makes her feel better than the actual trip. The trip's a lot of work.
Yeah,
We're out in the heat and we're running around. But like picking the places and then getting in there and doing it on time releases more chemicals to her, I believe.
But she knows her stuff. Honestly, if I thought for a second she wasn't so busy, like my company would hire her in a heartbeat to be a tour guide to take kids around. She'd love
doing
it.
that. Yeah,
exactly.
like she liked getting there first and being like, we got in this entrance. She did it at the Descendant show. We went in like some extra entrance, and she's like, "This was because your ticket was activated." I'm like, I don't know any of this stuff.
Yeah, and the actual show, she sit there mad.
Didn't know a song on her phone.
My husband's drunk.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Well, Joey, how can people contact you if they want a tour of any of the parks?
I appreciate it. Reach on out to me. It's at the Joey Mozand on all social media platforms. Remember, YouTube, speaking of which, if you want to see ride point of views and cool things like that, my take on what shows, what restaurants, what things, it's youtube.com/c/Joey Mozant. It's Joey, Mazzant. And then after you've watched all my videos and you get to see all the cool fun I'm having in the theme park, you're going to hop back over to Tom and Dan, watch those reruns on YouTube/Tom and Dan. Check out these videos, man. These guys are funny, and they have the best guests.
We do. We have the best old men guests. Like, I guarantee.
Who are you talking to, Joey?
The same people that are already listening. Yeah. He's telling our own listeners about the old men that we interview. We have if you want us to interview more old men, then just tune in. Keep tuning in.
You're not on a megaphone talking to Central Park. You're talking to people already listening.
What's up, everybody? It's Joey Mozand for Tom and Dan. And let me just tell you, after you're done checking out my videos, which I know you won't because it's just thoughts and prayers, I want you to go over to Tom and Dan and like and subscribe because I know you won't do that either, you son of a bitch.
These guys got to go. You're talking to people who are like, I've been listening all morning.
I'm listening to you right
now.
You know what you're listening to? You're listening to Tom and Dan, mother effer.
Wait, no, Joey. And you're drinking again. Do we need to have an intervention? Hold on. I'm going to put it on camera. I'm going to put your beer on camera.
No,
Am I not allowed to say that?
This is the morning Michelob. Morning Michelob.
Take your shoes off.
It's McCulture. There's no alcohol in here.
It's fine. It's fine.
A little sip.
More people should do this. The business
I was
menus
thinking of
are
having
everywhere.
one too. I saw him. I'm like, I'm going to start my morning with a little McCulture.
Game of Thrones, they're drinking all the time.
You can't drink all day if you don't start at 5.
We'll be right back.
Fucking love you guys, man. I love you guys. Oh, God, you're the best.
Thanks, buddy.
Oh, shit.
Is that 2 or 3? Tom.
Oh, sorry, that's 2.
Gotcha.
So Mo V1, Joe V2.
Yep.
We recorded.
Thanks for coming in, Joe.
I love you guys.
Appreciate you, man.
We did a segment yesterday for 3, and then we just got to do 4, but we'll go to lunch and then come back and do it.
All right, guys. We'll be back in a little bit after lunchtime, so enjoy your food. Piano is the guest later, so we'll have that. See you guys.